answer for question 2 of the impact of social media, which refers to paragraph 4 in the question. Paragraph 4 reads, ultimately, the influence of social media is undeniable. It has redefined the way people interact, form opinions, and perceive the world. While it offers the advantage of global connectivity and information sharing, it also poses risks of misinformation and erosion of privacy. The boundary between genuine social interaction and manipulated content has become increasingly blurred, leaving users navigating a complex digital landscape. Let's unpack this paragraph sentence by sentence to make sure we understand what the author is trying to convey. Sentence 1 says, ultimately, the influence of social media is undeniable. This means that social media does affect the world, or has an effect on the world, and that effect cannot be denied. Sentence 2 tells us how social media affects the world. It says it has redefined the way people interact, form opinions, and perceive the world. Another word for redefined is to change. So we've summarized sentence 2 in that social media has changed the way we communicate, form opinions, and see and understand the world. Sentence 3 discusses the advantages and disadvantages of social media. It says, while it offers the advantage of global connectivity and information sharing, it also poses risks of misinformation and erosion of privacy. We have summarized sentence 3 in the two orange sticking notes below. So the positives being global connectivity and information sharing, meaning we can share and connect to people all over the world, whilst the disadvantages or negative aspects of social media are incorrect or misunderstood information and reduced privacy. Erosion is another word for erosion, or another term for erosion is to wear down or wearing down, which means to reduce. Therefore, privacy is being reduced. Sentence 4 tells us that the boundary between genuine social interaction and manipulated content has become increasingly blurred, leaving users navigating a complex digital landscape. This sentence tells us that we cannot tell the difference. Increasingly blurred means that we cannot see, or it has become more difficult and more confusing to tell the difference between a genuine social interaction or a sincere social interaction and manipulated content or manufactured or created content for social media. Now that we understand what the paragraph is telling us, let's move on to the question. The question says, according to paragraph 4, social media has A, only positive impacts on personal interactions. We can immediately reject A, as we've discussed in sentence 3, that they are both positives of global connectivity and information sharing. However, there are also negatives to social media, which is incorrect or misunderstood information and reduced privacy. So we can go ahead and reject A. B says, social media has no significant influence on how people form opinions. Again, we can immediately reject B, because if we look at sentence 2, Sentence 2 says, it has redefined the way people interact, form opinions, and perceive the world. As we've discussed before, redefined is another word for changed. Therefore, social media has changed the way people have formed opinions. Therefore, it does have a significant influence on how people form opinions. We can now go ahead and reject B. C says, social media has changed the way people interact and perceive the world. So we have discussed that is exactly what sentence 2 is saying. It has redefined or changed the way people interact and perceive the world. So C is definitely an option. However, in order to make sure it's the correct option, we need to look at D first. D says social media has made it easier to distinguish genuine content from manipulated content. We can go ahead and reject D, as sentence 4 tells us that the boundary or the line between genuine social interaction and manipulated content has become increasingly blurred, meaning that we cannot tell the difference between the genuine social interaction and manufactured or created content, and it is increasingly difficult to do so. Therefore, we can eliminate option D, leaving option C as our correct answer.